Good evening, everybody, and allow me to welcome you all once again to the Tanker Foundation 28th Annual Charity and Awards Night 2021. It's been a very, very interesting year, to say the least. COVID-19 has come and taken over the world, and everybody is but thinking, breathing, and talking COVID. With that being the case, it has been everyone working towards a new normal. Life has changed for everybody. People have had to rethink the way they function, reinvent the way they live, the way they work. Everything has changed. Everything has been difficult. It's been a very, very tough year for many. And indeed, it's been good for some enterprising people as well. But the medical fraternity have been worked off their feet throughout this year. And throughout this entire pandemic, the Tanker Foundation has not stopped functioning. The Tanker Foundation has been conducting their daily dialysis in all the units that they have all over the country. The work has been tireless, the work has been continuous, the work has been hard, the work has been fantastic. The Tanker Foundation, as the poem goes, for men may come and men may go, but the Tanker Foundation goes on forever. They never stop working. Dedication to the core. They have been working hard for all the kidney, renal failure victims, helping them right through the year. Having said that, let me now tell you that we are now into the 28th year of functioning. I have been fortunate enough to host this event for at least 26 of those 28 years. I used to look a lot different in those days. For starters, I had black hair. I don't have the same anymore. A lot has changed over the years, but as I said, the dedicated work of the Tanker Foundation has not changed at all. The founders, the managing trustee, Lata Kumar Swami and Dr. Georgie Abraham, have been untiring in their efforts and continuing with their efforts, undeterred and constant. Their work needs to be lauded. Indeed, everyone in the Tanker Foundation, their work needs to be lauded. Well, without further ado, then let's plunge straight into the agenda for the evening. We look forward to all of you continuing to be there for the Tanker Foundation and all the kidney patients who need our help. Please do continue to donate generously for the cause. We really do appreciate and need the help as well. We will begin today's proceedings with a few dedications to people who are very important to the Tanker Foundation and indeed to a lot of other people. I call upon Managing Trustee, Tanker Foundation, Mrs. Lata Kumaraswamy, to please take the stage and proceed with the dedications.
Good evening, everybody. Before we start, I'd like to dedicate our 28th annual charity night to a few people who are not with us anymore and some who are with us. I dedicate our evening to Mr. S.V. Venkateshan. He was a dear trustee to us who passed on just when lockdown started. He was the person who raised all the funds for us, who took care of our accounts, who kept an eye on Tanker, and he was a father figure for all of us. He and his wife, Mrs. Venkateshan, who is also not with us, were selflessly serving Tanker. They would go to the units, spend time with the patients, and we miss him very much. And I dedicate this evening to Mr. S.V. Venkateshan. We also dedicate this evening to Mr. Neelakantan, V. Neelakantan. I'm sure all of you have seen him over the years. My brother, who has been of support to Tanker right from day one when we started. He was there when I was looking after my mother-in-law who died of kidney disease. And Neelu, as we call him, not this Neelu, but the other Neelu, used to step in for this Neelu, compare our programs, raise funds for us. Anytime I asked him, he would take me and immediately we'd get 5 lakhs donation from his friends. So we miss him very much. He's always been part of Tanker right from the beginning. So we dedicate this evening to him. We dedicate this evening to Mrs. Alamelu Narayan Swami. Again, my aunt. My family have been big donors for Tanker over the years. Every year she will come for all our Tanker functions. Even last year she was here with us. Unfortunately, she is not with us anymore. I dedicate this evening to all the people who gave up their lives and risking their lives for COVID, for the patients and taking care of them, who are the doctors and everybody. And above all, I just want to dedicate to the people who are here, our Tanker staff, all our healthcare workers, our doctors, and everyone who've done selfless work during this period in taking care of people. If not for all of you, I don't know, we couldn't have saved so many lives. I also dedicate this evening to our staff, our hospital, in all the general hospitals, to our staff headed by Geeta. Each and every one of you are precious. You've done some, great work. I also dedicate it to Mr. Bhaskar. Are you here, Mr. Bhaskar? Yes. He is one of our vendors who takes care of our generators. And he used to go around with coffee and tea on a scooter and go and help people on the streets. So, Mr. Bhaskar, we dedicate this evening to you and people like you. Thank you. Thank you all. It's all to the angels on earth who have selflessly worked. Thank you very much. We'll start with the Tamil Thai Varthu. You can all stand up.
எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனே தமிழனே உன் சீரிழமை திறமையந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Seated, I request Sudha Lakshmi Rao, our advisory member, to sing the prayer song for us, but please be seated.
I'm sorry, I have to take my mask off because I'm unable to sing without it. The song I'm about to sing is something I learned while I was working in Bala Mandir, a home for orphan and destitute children, a song that speaks of unity and diversity, tolerance, understanding, awareness, and it's a very fitting song since tomorrow is Republic Day, and the need of the hour is definitely unity and diversity, peace, tolerance, lack of bigotry. என்னை போலே நீ உன்னை போலே நான் என்ற உண்மை உணர்ந்தால்தான் உலகம் உருப்படலாம். மதத்தால் ஐக்கியமில்லை, மொழியால் ஐக்கியமில்லை, மதவெறியாலே மொழி வெறியாலே சண்டை மாளவில்லை. எனக்கும் மனமுண்டு, உனக்கும் மனமுண்டு, என்ற உண்மை உணர்ந்தால்தான் உய்ய வழியுண்டு. எனக்கும் கொள்கையுண்டு, உனக்கும் கொள்கையுண்டு என்று கருதி நடந்தால்தான் வாழ்வுக்கு அர்த்தமுண்டு. கௌரவம் எனக்குண்டு, மாற்றானுக்குண்டு என்ற எண்ணம் பிறந்தால்தான் ஒற்றுமை நிலையுண்டு. எனக்கும் உரிமையுண்டு, எதிரிக்கும் அது உண்டு என்று புரிந்து பகிர்ந்தால்தான் உலகிற்கு அமைதியுண்டு. என்னை போலே நீ, உன்னை போலே நான் என்ற எண்ணம் உருவானால் உலகம் இன்பம் பெறும், உலகம் அமைதி பெறும், உலகம் அழகு பெறும்.
Thank you, Sudha. That was a beautiful and apt song for us. We'll have the lighting of the Kuttuvalakku. I request our chief guest, Thiru K. Pandiyarajan, Minister of Tamil Official Language and Tamil Culture and Archaeology, to come and light the lamp, along with Dr. Georgie Abraham, Founder Trustee, Mrs. Lata Pandiyarajan, also a trustee. I also request Guhan to come forward. He's been with us the longest in Tanker, over 13 years. Thank you, Guhan. Please come and light the lamp. I also request my brother's wife, Rati Neelakantan, to come and light the lamp on behalf of Neelu, my family, of all the ones who are not here with us today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, each and every one of you. We now go into the lecture. The Mr. S.V. Venkateshan and Mrs. Malathi Venkateshan Memorial Lecture. I now request Mrs. Aparna John, who is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Venkateshan, to say a few words about these wonderful people who are with Tanker and whom we are so indebted to.
Good evening to everyone and Happy New Year. I am grateful to be a part of this 28th year of the Tanker Foundation's annual Charity and Awards Night, and to honor this year's recipient of the SV and Malathi Venkatesan Tanker Foundation Memorial Lecture, Professor Nitya Krishnan. This award is in honor of my wonderful parents who were my best friends and spiritual guides in this earthly journey. The Hindu scriptures say that to be born to wealthy parents is a rare birth taking many lifetimes, but to be born to spiritual parents is even rarer. I am one of those fortunate few, and reflect on this as I begin my first year without either of them. SV and Malathi Venkatesan played a leading role in many charities and NGOs, including nearly 3 decades as trustees for the Tamil Nadu Kidney Research or Tanker Foundation, serving underprivileged patients with kidney disease. Amma was a graduate of Queen Mary's College and champion volunteer at numerous NGOs known for her tremendous grit, bold determination, and visionary leadership. She bravely battled kidney disease for over 2 decades while serving underprivileged patients through her role as a trustee of Tanker and the Mohan Foundation. Appa's brilliant intellect and extraordinary earthly achievements were exceeded only by his simplicity, humility, and joyful good-naturedness. They were both universally beloved and respected, and deeply spiritual. In the beautiful interview by our own dear Dr. Sumana Naveen, Professor Krishnan shared that there is no substitute for hard work, keeping a genuine cause going in which one needs to be truthful. And she also shared her guru's teachings, producing more than we consume and giving more than what we take. These words by Professor Krishnan could not be more perfectly aligned with my parents' values and the lives they lived. So, heartfelt congratulations, Professor Krishnan, and congratulations to all the other award recipients tonight.
I now request Dr. Georgie Abraham, our founder trustee, to introduce Professor Nitya Krishnan.
Respected Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Pandirajan, Mrs. Lata Pandirajan, and people who are watching this, some of my students and nephrologists in the United States of America, in UK, especially Mumtaz Patel, who is the Vice President of the Royal College of Physicians, a second-generation Indian who is a nephrologist as well, and my colleagues in Sri Lanka, Professor Rizvi Sharif, and also in Tanzania, Dr. Sudakshana Ghosh and Dr. Lloyd Vincent, and the distinguished awardees today who are present here and who will receive their award virtually. And on behalf of the Tanker Foundation, the staff, and all the members, I thank you all for being here. My responsibility is to introduce Nitya Krishnan, who worked with me at the Tamil Nadu Hospital, and many of you have seen her as a young doctor with a lot of grit and courage in 1994. And before that, I also just want to say that Lata Kumarasamy is the president-elect of the International Federation of Kidney Foundation. And Lata's work spanning over 28 years has given her so many responsibilities in taking care of not only her family, her mother, and many people around her, and also to help the people through kidney foundations all over the world, spanning over the different continents, including South America, North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. So I'm sure that Lata would rise up to the occasion and do the best. Although she is doing the very best, it is an endless work she has to do in terms of providing care to people with kidney disease all over the world. Now let me go to Nitya Krishnan. Nitya Krishnan is an MBBS who graduated from Madras Medical College in Madras, India in 1994. She went to England. I still remember, she worked with me, and a very encouraging young lady doctor. She went to England and got her membership of the Royal College of Physicians in 1998, and then an MD in nephrology in 2005 December from the University of Warwick, Coventry, and CCT, it is something to do with transplantation, November 2006 from the Royal College of Physicians of London, UK, postgraduate award in medical education in June 2007 from the University of Warwick and Coventry, UK, diploma in transplantation in September 2007, European Society of Transplantation, certificate course in basic and advanced philosophy, India in 2008, distinguished educator course of the Transplantation Society in 2013, FRCP in May 2016 from the Royal College of Physicians of London of UK, leading innovation in healthcare and education by Harvard, Massey, Boston, USA in 2016, professor visiting Center for Innovative Research across the life course of Coventry University in 2016, leading people course, it is called the K-QUIP, Renal Association, Birmingham, UK in 2017, the Transplantation Leadership course at Transplantation Society, and recently she became the co-chair of the Education Committee of Transplantation. And it is a story of courage, character, and self-belief. The year-long lockdown has brought in many challenges for healthcare givers and dialysis patients. At least every 3 days, I will be having a WhatsApp call with Nitya to see what is happening in UK. And the expectation and the responsibility she had and the challenges she faced were enormous. And there were some crisis times during her career in UK. And she has shown transparency, responsibility, and accountability. And she has empowered many people, and she still continues to help our people to go there and get training with her at Nite. So I wouldn't take any more time. I welcome Professor Nitya S. Krishnan to give us the S.V. Venkadeshan and Mrs. Malati Venkadeshan oration.
Good evening and vanakkam. Thank you for joining me today to celebrate this amazing event, 27 years of completion of this glorious feat called Tanker Foundation. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Georgie Abraham, Mrs. Lata Kumaraswamy, and all the trustees for inviting me to do Mr. and Mrs. Venkateshan's Tanker Foundation Memorial Lecture. It is not just an incredible honor for me, but it also has significant personal relevance for multiple reasons. One of them is Mrs. Malati Venkateshan, the lady behind this memorial lecture. As you know, she was one of the trustees of Tanker Foundation and has been a part of it since its inception. Though she is my mother's cousin, I got to know her well only when I was a junior doctor. Being a patient is not easy. Being a kidney patient is all the more difficult because of all the uncertainties that go with the disease. Moving from stable function one day to needing dialysis, to being on the waiting list, transplant, complications, back on dialysis, anything can happen at any time. The physical pain, the discomfort, the mental agony, the stress one would have to deal with, we can only imagine. Yet, she held all the suffering behind an ever pleasant demeanor. A lot of us, and certainly I can speak for myself here, even if we were to face a small problem, even a tiny one, we will feel so sorry for ourselves, brood over our issues, get angry with the world, and just exhibit our bitterness in every way possible. But she, whilst going through this profound distress, was able to think of others and actually help those who were less fortunate than herself. She did this throughout her illness until her last breath. And her legacy continues. And I hope it'll continue for a long, long time. Another reason this event is so important to me is Georgie, my mentor. He has been instrumental in my career and has played a significant role to get me to where I am today. He has been a strong support for me professionally, personally, and morally. I still vividly remember attending a lecture at Shankar Nethralaya when I was studying in Madras Medical College in 1992 or 3, I think. There were many speakers who had trained abroad and had come back to India to practice. However, the only speaker I remembered after I left the hall that day, and even today, is Georgie. His speech was so inspiring. I was awestruck by his passion to serve the people. That's when I decided that I should become a nephrologist. I have not seen an iota of arrogance or pride in him in all these years, despite his huge success. And then we have Lata Kumaraswamy. I have known Lata for over 25 years. Her never-ending enthusiasm, her constant smile, 100% positive, yes, we can attitude. Nothing has changed even a bit. So, having such inspirational, committed people working together as a team, it is not at all surprising that Tanka has been able to achieve so much. I'm thoroughly humbled and grateful to have been invited to share my story with you all today on this momentous occasion. To all the great inspirational people out there, Endaro Mahanubavulu, Andariki Vandanamu. Well, I'm from a typical middle class family where education and values were considered the utmost priorities. My father worked as a mechanical engineer in Integral Coach Factory, Madras, and my mother sacrificed her career and her ambitions to look after my two older brothers and me. I studied in Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Chetpet. When I was little, I always wanted to be a teacher. The one thing I knew I would never be was a doctor because I disliked biology. But whilst I was filling my application for class 11 and 12, my brother suggested in passing that it was better to choose biology as opposed to advanced English. And there you go. That's the reason I'm here talking to you today. Entrance into medical college has always been a challenge, both for academic and non-academic reasons. The All India entrance exam was announced for the very first time after I finished my schooling. Unfortunately, the exam was cancelled just 2 days before the scheduled date because of some court order. Up until then, everything went really well for me. I got whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted it. So this was my first taste of disappointment. My plan B was to do BSc Physics. Despite being the school topper, I was denied physics for some reason or the other and was offered home science. Now, others who got far less than me got into the top choice. Well, home science was definitely not the course for me. Those days, I would never find time or had any interest to go into the kitchen. Well, if you ask my daughter now, she'd say that hasn't changed much, even now. With much reluctance, I joined the home science course. However, 3 months later, I decided to discontinue and prepare for my medical entrance exam instead. This was met with objection and ridicule from my relatives, though my appa, my father, supported me completely. In fact, my appa was reprimanded by my relatives for making me a kuttichevru, a spoilt brat. Well, the All India entrance exam finally took place 2 years later, and I got into medicine. I was an MMC and was doing okay, Madras Medical College. As my brothers were in USA, I had planned to go to USA too. So I prepared for the American exams whilst I was studying in the college. These exams required a lot of hard work as the structure was so different from our curriculum. And we had to go to Singapore to do the exam. Luckily, I passed the exams and got admission in some reputed hospitals in America. I was ready to leave straight away after house surgency. But there was only one small hitch. The US Embassy did not know of my plans, and they rejected my visa. Not once, not twice, but again and again. It was almost as though they found out that I was Osama bin Laden's mentor. All my plans had been squashed in a jiffy. This was my second big disappointment. Now, though I have said second, please don't bother counting, as there are so many to follow and you will lose count. People who are not even thinking of going abroad were flying away, and here I was, grounded to a halt. That's when I joined Tamil Nadu hospitals as a junior doctor. The only reason I joined there was because most of the consultants who were working there had been trained abroad, and so I thought I could get some good work experience. But looking back now, it was predetermined that I had to go to that particular hospital because there were 3 people there waiting to play and are playing a significant role in my life. One of them was Dr. Ashok Venkatraman, a cardiologist who had written from UK and had started working only a couple of weeks before I had joined. The second person was Dr. Shankar Raman, who was my senior in Madras Medical College. whose American plans had failed, and he was there deciding what to do next. Third person was Georgie. After a few months in cardiology, Georgie had requested my transfer to nephrology to work under him. I was so excited. I worked with him for about a year thereafter. It was the culture of research and teaching he instilled in me that has shaped me in becoming what I am today. I published my first paper with him in transplantation. And it is because of that I am a transplant nephrologist today. Then Dr. Ashok Venkatraman advised both Shankar and I to move to the UK. I didn't want to, as I had to start all over again and prepare for the British exams, which was again completely different to the American and Indian exam systems. Meanwhile, Shankar had gone to England and started work at Walsgrave Hospital, Coventry, which is called as University Hospitals Coventry in Warwickshire now, where Ashok and his wife had worked previously. The following year, I decided to move to England. And I came here and I stayed with Shankar and his wife. I passed the British exam straight away and started working in the same place as a junior doctor. I did my membership, which is a postgraduate qualification, MRCP. I then got an opportunity to do research in transplantation. This was rather difficult to get for anyone those days, British or otherwise. However, there were some hiccups. I couldn't start this research post as there were no funds available, which therefore led to job as well as visa insecurities. Though I had other offers, as those were not in the field of kidney transplant, I did not take them up and instead decided to wait for the transplant research job. This came up eventually. Whilst I was doing research, I got married and then had a baby girl. My parents had come there for my delivery. 3 weeks after my daughter was born in the UK, my father died suddenly, having suffered a massive stroke. I then continued and completed my research. I was also doing a postgraduate qualification in teaching, aside from working in the hospital. I did not have a definitive job at this stage. Amidst all this, my husband left my 3-year-old daughter and I. You know, life is full of twists and turns. My deep spiritual beliefs help me during such times. I always think of Mahakavi Bharatiyar's poem, Achamillai, Achamillai, Acham என்பதில்லையே இச்சகத்தில் உள்ளோர் எல்லாம் எதிர்த்து நின்ற போதினும் அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சம் என்பதில்லையே துச்சமாக எண்ணி தூறு செய்த போதினும் அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சம் என்பதில்லையே. Anyway, a couple of years later, a transplant nephrology job was about to be advertised. One of my senior colleagues who knew I was interested in this job told me that I should not pursue this path because it was a white-collared job meant for white men. He said the second choice for the job would be other men, and then white women, and then at the bottom of the rung would be colored women like me. Anyway, to be fair to him, he was telling me the truth so that I was prepared for failures and disappointments. You know, we should not let anybody put us down. If we think we can achieve it, no matter what anybody says, we should go for it full steam. Muyarchi Thiruvinayakkum. We should aim for the best and not settle for any mediocrity. In the UK, there is an unwritten rule that people like you and me, have to work at least 2 or 3 times harder than an average white person to be even acknowledged as reasonable, let alone being good. But the good thing is that most people from our part of the world are not shy of work. I was also the same. My father used to say, work like a bull and live like a prince. Finally, after some more struggle, I was appointed as a transplant nephrologist, but only on a temporary basis. The temporary basis lasted for 4 years. When the permanent job came up finally, guess what? A white man applied for from London applied for the job. And it did not matter that I had more experience, more qualification, and that I had done my interview very well. The people in the interview panel, except my then boss, wanted to appoint him. I was later told that after many rounds of argument, they finally relented and gave me the job based on my credentials. Thus, I became the first Asian woman transplant nephrologist in the UK. 4 years later, I was also awarded a professorship, another rare occurrence. I have actually been very lucky. Amazing opportunities have come my way. Working with Global Transplant Society, many international collaborations, and of course, the continuing opportunities provided by Georgie and Dr. Sunil Shroff, whom most of you would know, the Karamveer of Count Banega Crorepati fame. Because of such people, I continue to survive. But let me tell you, till date, I continue to face uphill battles and discrimination. I have no problems in saying what I truly believe. I am certainly not a yes woman. Winston Churchill said, if you have enemies, that is good, because it means that you've stood up for something sometime in your life. I have had several false accusations laid against me. You know, it has become a trend these days to keep repeating lies over and over and over again with confidence and authority so that it becomes the truth. We are witnessing such events regularly on the global stage too. You know, when things go really bad for you, that's when you come to know who your true friends are. You suddenly see a surge in the movement of people to the side of power. My guru, Swami Chinmayananda, used to say, adversity is the best teacher. Welcome it. When the world kicks you, use it as an experience to grow. Be like a rubber ball and bounce back even higher than from where you started. As long as truth is on our side, we will win. It might take time, but we will. Satyameva Jayate. Remember that we are not the first ones to go through these situations, and certainly we will not be the last. Annike padiyachu. Ennadan nadakkum nadakattume. Iruttinil neethi marayattume. Tannale velivarum tayangade. Thalaivan irukkiran mayangade. So why worry? I'm so grateful to God for whatever I have been given. I firmly believe everything that has happened is happening and will happen is for a reason. Thinking back, it is bewildering even to try and comprehend the precision of the timing of certain events in my life. I'm sure many of you would have experienced this in your lives as well. The exact way things have been planned for you. The only example I can think of that is even remotely close to what I'm trying to say is the Swiss railways. Only in Switzerland will you find that even if there were only a few seconds between your connecting trains, you can be certain that you will make it. That is clockwork. That's how God works. Of course, He will make sure that we take breaks, forced breaks many a times. He will make us miss our connecting trains and even reroute our journeys. However difficult it might be in such situations, we need to have full faith that He has a unique plan and therefore need to be patient. He has made us wait in that station on purpose, maybe to gain some experience, which will be needed later, maybe to ensure that some important person who's traveling on the next train, who may turn out to be a crucial factor in shaping the next phase of a life and taking us to our next destination. Maybe we will meet somebody like that. a long way to go in my journey, but I'm eagerly looking forward to what's in store for me. Thank you all for your time and attention. May you all have a healthy, peaceful, and a happy year. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you.
Professor Nitya Krishnan, I know you're watching from the UK. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was wonderful to know about your journey, your challenges, the struggles you've faced, and hats off to you, Nitya, for what you've achieved and what you're going to achieve. You've done India proud, and we're all very grateful that we know you. It's fantastic you're a professor and, the head of transplant in the National Health Trust. So we are blessed that you were able to give the Malti Venkateshan and Mr. S.V. Venkateshan oration today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, we move into the awards straight away, but before that, I would request our chief guest, Thiru K. Pandiyarajan, Minister for Tamil Official Language and Tamil Culture and Archaeology, to come on stage. Along with his wife, Mrs. Lata Pandiyarajan, she needs no introduction also, who's our trustee, but she's also, the trustee in several well-known trusts. And Dr. Georgie Abraham, our founder trustee. La Renan, is there a representative from La Renan here today? Yeah, okay, fine. So, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. We welcome all of you. I'm just going to quickly give you an update about Tanker. I'm sure, you may have heard it before, but for the benefit of all the new people who are here and our awardees. Tanker was founded in 1993, June, to help the underprivileged with kidney ailments. It was founded by Dr. Georgie Abraham and like-minded people who had all had a brush with the disease and had suffered in some form or the other. So we started in a very, very small way, very humble beginnings with a few thousand rupees. And as we went on, people started helping us, contributing to us. And our family, friends, and other well-wishers came forward. Very gradually, we had corporates, we had Lions Club, we had Rotary, we had Freemasons, Inner Way, Ladies Circle, corporates, and so many individuals and families who came forward to support us. So from small beginnings and little steps, we have reached a point where we have done over 3.8 lakh free and subsidized dialysis for 1,800 patients. We have given almost 5 crores in donations for transplantation costs, investigation costs, fistula surgeries. So from small beginnings with family help and support, we have reached 11 subsidized dialysis units today, 3 opened during the COVID period. So hats off to all our donors, our staff, and everyone who came forward. So we have around 157 dialysis machines. These are situated in Ambattur Rotary Hospital with Ambattur Rotary Club, with Arogya Trust in Chokkikulam in Madurai, with RVS College in Coimbatore, in Nungambakam along with Rotary Club of Madras East, in Thiruverkadu with Rotary Club of Madras West, in Vellore with Rotary Club of Vellore Fort, in Retteri along with Rotary Club of Chennai Towers and the Greater Chennai Corporation, in Perungudi along with the Greater Chennai Corporation, in Balsaravakam with Rotary Club of Chennai Coastal and Greater Chennai Corporation, in Injambakam with Lodge Accountants number 194 and Freemasons Charitable Trust, and Greater Chennai Corporation, in Tirupur with Tirupur North Rotary Club. So through our 11 dialysis centers, we provide almost 6,000 dialysis every month, reaching out to over 620 patients. 80% of our dialysis is free of cost with valuable help from the Chief Minister's Comprehensive Health Insurance Scheme. Sir, thank you, sir, for your support. The Greater Chennai Corporation and all our other valuable donors and each and every one of you. We also have our first HIV dialysis unit. It's the first of its kind in India. Inspiration of Dr. Georgie, who said that marginalized people should also be helped. So we also treat HIV patients, positive patients through our units. We support Kerala Kidney Foundation by donating machines to them and giving help wherever possible. This is in Kochi, in Kottayam, and other cities in Kerala. We also donated 4 dialysis machines and equipment to the worth of 33 lakhs to the Catholic Mission Hospital in Imphal, Manipur. Now again, Dr. Georgie, he is always looking out to help people. It's very rare to find dedicated people like him. He went and saw the Northeast was very underserved and started, raised funds and said, let us help them also. We've also, along with the Madras Medical Mission, donated a machine in Dar es Salaam General Hospital in Tanzania. Again, Dr. Georgie went there and found that, they didn't have a machine. It was a pregnant woman who was dying without dialysis. So Dr. Georgie raised funds and we sent a machine there also. We are going to open up in Pillar Hospital in the Andaman Islands. Yeah, and also an HIV unit under Dr. Georgie's, with his help and Tanker's help, is being opened in Kerala also. So thank you, Doctor, for taking this everywhere. So that is as far as our units is concerned. But it's important to create awareness also. We really need to create awareness of this dreaded disease so that we do not have to open up dialysis centers. So we have reached out to over 1.89 lakh people and through our 1,279 awareness programs. Here I have to appreciate and applaud Rajalakshmi Ravi, who almost single-handedly, along with her team, every year I say thank you to her, but Raji, thank you for the awareness that you're creating and the screening camps that you and your team conduct. And we've reached out to over 36,000 through our screening camps for early detection of kidney disease. I have to say grateful thanks to actor Surya, who gives us donations, who inspires us to open dialysis centers, and he is there with us in spirit all the time. Let me just tell you that after Mr. S.V. Venkatesan passed on, we got a new trustee, Mrs. Neena Reddy, who's the managing director of Savera, is our new trustee. We have Rohini Menon, who's our advisory member, and K.V. Balachandar also, who's become our advisory member. So before I say anything else about the awards, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to everyone, our enablers, donors, advisory members. This is because I think the minister has come here and given us, he's such a busy schedule, so I just want to say thank you so that he knows who we are grateful for. The sponsors of the awards, our awardees who are here today, our jury members, who's also Mr. K. Pandiyarajan, by the way, thank you, sir, for the efforts you make, Mr. Lanka Lingam, Mrs. Neena Reddy, Dr. Jacob Abraham, our valuable staff headed by Geeta. Geeta, are you here? Our admin staff headed by Vasanthi. Thank you, Vasanthi. Our vendors, our suppliers, people like Mr. Bhaskar who do selfless service. Of course, Sumitra Ghosh, Chitra, Raghav and team for the website that you're going to see. We're getting a new design today. Neena Reddy, staff management. Without you every year, it's just, Yeah. Without you every year, we cannot do this. You sponsor everything for us. We're so grateful. Santosh, Rajesh, and the Aura team for taking us to the World Forum. Thank you so much. We're very grateful to you. Vinod, mics and sounds, always. Press and media, I think without their help, we could never be, we could not have come this far because they support us unstintingly in everything that we do. I just want to thank each and every one of you. Of course, our angels on earth who are here also. I think without all of you, we could not have done anything. Why the awards? Because I think over the years, we felt we had to recognize people for the selfless service that they do, for the research work that you do, because Dr. Georgie feels that nobody is being recognized and encouraged for research work. So we're very grateful that we have our awardee here. Of course, I'm not going to announce it. It's going to be announced by Mr. Nilakantan. All our awardees, we are so grateful to you for the selfless work that you do, the work that you've done. And this is just our, a small way in which we would like to recognize you and say thank you. Our gratitude to you always. And thank you, Dr. Georgie, for everything. I think each and every one of you, thank you very much. the awards now, and Sudha will take over. My apologies. I call Mrs. Sudha Lakshmi Rao to introduce Pandya our chief guest, who has to say a few words to us. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you.
It is my honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished chief guest, our respected chief guest today, Thiru K. Pandirajan, Honorable Minister of Tamil Official, Language and Tamil Culture and Archaeology, is an eminent politician and respected businessman who was the former Minister for School Education and Sports and Youth Welfare of Tamil Nadu and also in charge of archaeology, museums and libraries. He won the 2011 Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly election from his Virudhunagar constituency and was elected again from the Avadi constituency as an AIADMK candidate in 2016 and has made significant improvements in the infrastructure and essential services, initiating and executing various projects with long-term perspectives during his tenures. Thiru K. Pandirajan is one of the most well-respected business leaders in India with more than 30 years of experience in management and human resources. After completing his BE from PSG College of Technology, Coimbatore, he did his MBA in Personal Management and IR from Xavier Labor Relations Institute, the XLRI, in Jamshedpur. As the founder of Mafoy Management Consultants, I hope I pronounced that right? Mafoy. Mafua, okay. As the founder of Mafua Management Consultants, he was at the forefront of transformational changes for over 20 years and pioneered the HR outsourcing concept in India, creating employment opportunities for over 4 lakh professionals within India and overseas. He moved to consulting, analytics, and education with the incorporation of the Mafua Strategic Consultants in 2012, focusing on providing high-end consulting solutions to Indian industries with a special focus on SMEs. He is the chairman of the New Age HR Services Company, CLHR, which offers recruitment, staffing, and HR consultancy services across India. He's been on the board of several companies and member of several governing councils in different educational institutions and has represented Tamil Nadu on various councils and boards and has also been a member of the Young Presidents Organization, TAI Chennai, State Council of CII, and is the founder trustee of the Sornamal Educational Trust and the Mafo Foundation that has touched the lives of more than 1 lakh families through its various schemes. And also a founder trustee of the Confederation of Indian Organizations for Service and Advocacy, a forum representing over 247 NGOs in Chennai. He has received many awards, including the Thiruvalluvar Award, and is an Eisenhower Fellow, an active Rotarian, and the author of career guidance books for youth. He has groomed and motivated a number of young students and entrepreneurs over the years. A keen believer in the fundamental principle of empowerment at all levels, he is actively involved in the CSR activities that focus on empowering children, women, and youth through education, healthcare, and livelihood support. Thiru Pandirajan lives with his lovely wife, Mrs. Lata Pandirajan, in Chennai, and has 2 lovely children, Sunila and Suhas. We are honored to have you with us this evening, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Sudha, for that rather comprehensive and quite outdated introduction. I'm not part of any of the companies. Okay, so I was. Okay, so such a pleasure to be part of this August gathering, partly in person, partly online. I'm sure all of Georgie's angels must be watching this session from all over the place. So many people you have groomed, sir, which is the first thing which attracted us to come and be part of this forum. I was also very delighted to listen to Professor Nitya Krishnan and the kind of struggles she had, the range of people she quoted, starting from our delightful leader, MGR. And that was a great range from MGR to Churchill. And along the way throwing in her dad, to talk of work like a bull and enjoy like a prince kind of statements. Amazing. I could never see within half an hour punchlines from at least 10 people, ranging from Swami Chinmayananda to whatever. And I never also understood the meaning of white-collar jobs. I was always taught white-collar meant office jobs, but I never meant that white-collar jobs were reserved for white men. And the kind of struggle that an Indian doctor had in the bad world out there, and to emerge as the first woman of color to be a nephrologist in UK, I think that was an amazing journey, which also tempted me to offer one more punchline from probably the only leader she missed out, Thiruvalluvar. Thiruvalluvar is your favorite sir of Modi ji. Okay, coming from Ahmedabad, you must appreciate it better. Thiruvalluvar actually says this couplet about doctors. But I want to use this couplet to describe the occasion of Tanker Foundation's 27th anniversary. And why Tanker happened. I've always believed that institutions happen. They're not created. They happen when destiny calls for it. I always believe that. So, Thiruvalluvar, in his rather not so popular Kurals, talks about doctors. Utran alavum, pini alavum, kalamum, katran karudi cheyal. I know most of you wouldn't have understood this. He talks about the learned physician should ascertain the condition of his patient, the nature of his disease, the season of the year, and then proceed with the treatment. He, in a way, sums up the idea of diagnosis, sums up the idea that each patient is unique, and of course, there's something to do with the season. What he means is kalam. Of course, Professor Nitya gives a very different interpretation for timing. She talks about, almost talks about re sarasara. What sarasara? Ke sarasara. Okay, whatever will happen when its time comes. We don't know what kalam may call who, the kind of famous Ramayana line which we all understand. So this time which he mentions is what I want to take on and talk about. I think Tanker had to happen in 1993. The kind of inspirations, what I've seen, the kind of different people have come together, the two giant streams of ethos which has come to create this. I've always asked this question, who owns Tanker? I've always had the puzzle. Whenever I come, I've come right from the first session here. Even if I've not come for your annual gala night, I've always stayed connected through, of course, my better half, who's always filled with Tanker. And though with always a feeling that we should have done a lot more than what we have is a kind of constant refrain. So I always ask the question, what made Tanker happen? I think what made Tanker happen, in my view, is the right time where many things have fallen apart. So I really think that this has been created by the society at that point in time. I've always felt society chooses to create institutions through people who get impelled to do certain things. And I honestly think that the way Lata, of course, comes and talks about people who have been part of this organization, who have been kind of pillars of support, starting from even the person who provides key infrastructure for the whole foundation, of course going to all the people, the doyens of nephrology, who have all come in and taken it as their own. Of course, largely Tamil Nadu. Now, of course, reaching out to places in Africa, reaching out to Kerala, reaching out to a whole lot of other places. I think if Tamil Nadu today can legitimately claim to be the healthcare capital of India, I think a large part of it is due to institutions like Tanker. I mean, it's no mean achievement that you run today close to 4% of all the dialysis centers in Tamil Nadu. 4%, 157 dialysis stations by a private organization is no mean achievement. That you've done probably close to 6% of all the patients who have ever been treated for nephrology. That's no mean achievement. To understand that it happens in a place like Tamil Nadu, which has the largest number of medical colleges, largest number of hospitals per capita, number of beds per capita in India. And of course, to add to it, we are creating another 13 this year alone. This year alone, the number of medical colleges, about 13 of them are getting created. 11 from the state government, 1 from the central government, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and also 1 for Siddha, which is happening today in Tamil Nadu. All India Institute of Medical Sciences for Siddha is happening in Tamil Nadu. And to work in that atmosphere and also be able to shape the policies of the government is no mean achievement. I've always told Madam, whenever I come here, that you should invest as much as you're investing in service, pure play service, in advocacy and in research. I've always said this, and we've had long conversations around creating a center of excellence with the Tamil Nadu government support. I really hope it happens soon. In fact, you'll be delighted to know that it was your conversation with the health secretary which inspired them to actually create a center of excellence, 100% Tamil Nadu government owned in Pudukkottai. It's coming up now, the regional kidney center or something like that, they call that. And I think it was partly your initiative which led to creating TANSTRAN, which is the first institution created by any state government for transplantation, organ transplantation, Kerala, which is again one thing where Tamil Nadu leads the rest of the country. I believe close to 30% of all the transplantations happen in Tamil Nadu, which happen in India, happens in Tamil Nadu. We've got the award for the last 6 years in succession for the organ transplantation. And of course, Tamil Nadu has always attempted to institutionalize whatever we are creating so that it doesn't become one-off kind of success story. We've always worked with institutions from the private sector so that there's no competition kind of a thing, which almost happened during the Corona time. We're actually very, very proud to say that during the Corona time, it's the government hospitals which actually stood up and got respected as treatment centers. Our King Institute on one side, all our medical college hospitals. We also now are proud to say that we are the first state to create the 6th tier of medical treatment, Amma Medical Clinics. Amma Mini Clinic, which has been an innovation, and of course, none less than our Prime Minister recognized this, that every state has created 5 tiers of treatment, starting from the health sub-centers up to the medical college hospitals. Along the way, you have the primary health centers and the taluk hospitals and the district hospitals and things like that. But we are the first to attempt to create 2,000 Amma mini clinics with just 3 people, but with a lack of medicines. But we are able to proudly say, like our Perindalevar Kamarajar used to say once, that we will create a school every 3 kilometers. No one has to go beyond 3 kilometers for a school. This is what his dream when the HRD index for India, or the people who get admitted into the schools, was hardly 16% at the time Kamaraj took charge of this state. He was the one who made that into 53% by the time he laid down office, with his singular statement that he'll create a school every 3 kilometers. Okay, now a similar thing has happened today in Tamil Nadu, where there will be an hospital within a radius of 1 kilometer, which is what the dream what our Amma had, and we are doing it through the mini clinics, which network of mini clinics, and with every parameter, whether it's IMR or MMR or any of the medical indices, Tamil Nadu strives to be number 1. We are in a few of them. We hope to be in every one of them. Of course, Kerala is giving a tough fight for us, and many states like Gujarat, of course, have been creating phenomenal niche successes, especially in things like, I was reading through the profile of the awardee here. I could see the kind of successes some of the other states are doing. May I wish Tanker all the very best. May this culture of allowing many people to co-own Tanker Foundation continue to forever and ever. And to me, I learned in my XLRA, they asked us to differentiate between an institution and an organization. There were 10 things which distinguish an institution from an organization. Institution lasts forever. Institution is created to be eternal. It needs to last beyond the founder. Here, already there's so many people who have co-owned the Tanker Foundation, and I'm quite sure that part of the institutional identity will be remaining strong. The other part of the institution is where, beyond co-ownership, beyond lasting ahead after the founder, the institution is truly owned by the society, where the society creates the institution. There's some felt need which the society has, which creates the institution. And of course, leadership in an institution will be exactly like leadership here. An amoeba-like structure, a structure like an amoeba, where there's no hierarchy, where there's no kind of, he's the boss's boss kind of a thing. And of course, this kind of ambience. And we have created institutions like what we are currently going through. A charity night where fundraising happens very, very smoothly, almost like Arthashastra, defining how the nectar gets taken out of the flower by the silvandu, as they call, kind of how it gets sucked out. You've been very nicely doing it. The way you raise funds, the way you get people to proudly say you're contributing into this organization and you're contributing to the society. All the very best. May Tanker grow from strength to strength. May this be owned by a lot more people than only people from Tamil Nadu. That's the only thing I like to place before you. I think it's time for you to spread wings and really kind of go in scale and scope and depth beyond Tamil Nadu. And I like to see, for instance, the next 10 years, we are able to be truly called as an Indian organization, where your beneficiaries come from around the country, your donors come from around the country, and of course your nephrologists come from all over the world, like the classic example of Nitya, who was speaking so wonderfully today. All the very best. May Almighty be with you always in everything that you endeavor to do. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Sir, here I have to say that you're talking of ownership. We all feel that tanker owns us. None of us owns tanker. So we are all slaves to tanker. Tanker owns us and makes us do whatever we are doing. Thank you for your wonderful speech. You said this is a day to raise funds, and this is a day for us to ask you and appeal to you for some land for us to set up a center of excellence. So we do hope that you will keep that in mind and help us and set up a center of excellence. And I just feel that that will be the biggest funds that we could have raised today. So thank you so much. You talked of donors. We have our first donor, Dr. Georgie's granddaughter, Ava Maria Simon. She has given 2,000 rupees. She's a 2-month-old baby. And we got the first donation from Ava today. So thank you, Doctor. And we'll go into the awards. Sudha, please take over.
The first award this evening will be the KV George Kuttukulam Memorial Tanker and Kerala Kidney Research Foundation Young Investigator Award, being presented to Dr. Nandita Arun. We will have a recorded message from our sponsor.
It is time now for us to go into the awards part of the evening. It is time now to present the awards to those wonderful people who have achieved so much in their own fields of expertise. The first award for the evening, the KV George Kottukulam Memorial Tanker and Kerala Kidney Research Foundation Young Investigator Award. This award goes to, please put your hands together for Dr. Nandita Arun.
Good afternoon. My name is Rohan George. I am a grandson of Mr. K.V. George. Most people who knew my grandfather knew him in the context of his contribution to the Indian Railways and to manufacturing. But my grandfather was one of the first people to bring concrete sleepers into the Indian Railways. Accordingly, he knew the importance of research and development to the progress of this country. And he knew the importance of research to medicine and medical study as well. It is for this reason that he instituted foundations for medical research and study during his lifetime and after. In these times, we appreciate the value of medical research more than ever, not just for COVID-19, but for other ailments as well, that have claimed more over the course of time than COVID ever could. For this reason, we are proud to associate with the Tanker Foundation to award the Young Investigator Award for path-breaking research. And I thank the Tanker Foundation for helping us to identify and reward this researcher for their contributions to the field of medical research. Thank you.
Dr. Georgie Abraham will now introduce the awardee and read the citation.
Friends, suffice to say that research, both in clinical and basic, forms the platform for serving the community in different areas, especially healthcare. And we, as you listen to Nitya Krishnan, I still remember the first abstract we wrote together in 1994. I had to send it to her. She has already gone to UK at that time. And Nitya alluded to that. So we have excellent scientists sitting here for research and giving us feedback on how to take care of the patient, including Dr. Ramachandran from the Ramachandran's Diabetic Center, and Professor Vivek Kute, who was one of the previous recipient of the KV George Award, and Professor Gopalakrishnan. And I don't think that the Government Medical College Hospital has ever witnessed so much research done and produced effects, impact on patients' healthcare. Gopalakrishna, you are an ideal example for many. Now let me go to Nandita. The Nandita Arun is an MD in General Medicine, FRCP Glasgow, and FIMSA and PG in Diabetic Diploma from UK. And she is a diabetologist at Dr. A. Ramachandran's Diabetes Hospital, Chennai. Founder Director, India Diabetic Research Foundation, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And I just want to tell you that we have Ramachandran and Mohan, and the group says that we have 97 million diabetics in this country. And mind you that 1 in 3 diabetic develop kidney disease. Every day, even today, I am seeing people who are suffering from diabetic kidney disease, and we are helpless in front of them. So, are there new molecules or drugs which can slow down the progression of diabetic kidney disease? We are just trying our level best. I was just telling here. And is there something which could happen from heaven? Tell us that, okay, there is a miracle, you just work on that so that, you could save the life of these patients with diabetic kidney disease, whom we are losing miserably because of the condition of diabetes, which has progressed and affected every tissue in the body. I always tell patients that a 70-kilogram person has about 60,000 miles of blood vessels in the body. Anywhere you prick, it is blood. So all these blood vessels are circulated by blood, which has a very high blood sugar. And we are not sure about that. Only 47%, nearly 47% of the diabetics in this country do not know that they have diabetes. And among them, those who know, only 25% have adequate or some optimal diabetic control. So where are we heading? So this is a big problem for us. So Nandita has produced looked at a molecule which is called the SGLT2 inhibitors. This diabetic drug works through the kidney, not through anywhere else. So kidney doctors are also important to know that how this drug works. And she has looked at, in the Indian context, how this drug is effective. And she has looked at it longitudinally. So I would say that she is, to her credit, conferred fellowship by the Royal College of Physicians, Glasgow, and International Medical Science Academy. She underwent training for healthcare management at the Indian Institute of Management, IIM Ahmedabad. Dr. Nandita Arun is a member of several diabetes medical societies and has been an organizing member of many international conferences and several international publications and presentations to her credit, and is a co-investigator in many drug trials. Is also on the advisory board of various. And we were writing a book together. I called Nandita, join us for nutrition in kidney disease. There is very little known about nutrition. Every day the patient will, can I take kira, can I take that, can I eat this? So I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just a nephrologist. So we need to let them know that what is suitable for each one, whether it is in Kashmir, whether it is in Kanyakumari, whether it is in Gujarat, or whether it is in Imphal or in central India. So that book is being, now more copies are being printed, and Nandita was very kind enough to write a chapter in that. So let me also say that Nandita is an incredibly admirable model for a lot of people, women and men, to do research. And I'm just reading the citation. K.V. George Kottagulam Memorial Tanker and Kerala Kidney Research Foundation Young Investigator Award, Dr. Nandita Arun. In presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of enthusiasm and commitment in the path-breaking research you have done in diabetes and related diseases. Your paper on sodium glucose cotransporter 2 inhibitors in patients with type 2 diabetes, a longitudinal observation study, has shown promising results with significant improvement in cardiovascular outcomes, especially heart failure in patients with or without type 2 diabetes. Also that these drugs help in reducing high blood glucose without the risk of developing low blood glucose. Your work has given life and hope to people who are battling diabetes and all the terrible effects on all other organs. You have presented and published several research papers in national and international forums and journals respectively. We salute your enthusiasm, hard work, commitment and achievement in one so young and look towards you for more answers. Thank you for being with Tanker.
May I request the awardee to say a few words?
Sorry, I need to remove my mask for more clarity. Honorable Minister, sir, Madam, Professor Georgie, senior delegates present here this evening. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy and honored to be receiving this prestigious award this evening. And if I can just say, this award is always going to be very special to my heart, especially because it is from Tanker Foundation, and to be part of such an inspiring evening, to see how much of wonderful work is going on, and I've been witness to it as well over the years during my student days with Professor Georgie. I just need to take a couple of minutes to thank all my teachers. I've been blessed with wonderful teachers, but of course, among them, the one person who has always been almost like a father figure to me, my mentor, my guide, always is Dr. Georgie. Sir has been a constant inspiration for me right through my UG and my postgraduate days, and still continues to be so. He's been an inspiration in every way. So his passion and the compassion and the personal touch that he has with every patient that he attends to, I have been witness to that. And his depth of knowledge, his commitment to excellence in everything that he does is absolutely commendable, and has always been an inspiration. I'm always proud to say that I am a student of you, sir, and I'm so grateful to you. Of course, I would not have made it this far, and I wouldn't be here today, quite literally, if it wasn't for my father, Dr. A. Ramachandran, who's there in the audience. And he, of course, has been my role model. His dedication, the discipline with which he works, and his passion for research, I think, has rubbed on to me somewhere. And if I can at least live up to an ounce of how much the standards that he has set in the medical field, I think I'd be very happy and proud. The three pillars of strength in my life, of course, first would be my mother, who has set an example with all her grace and poise with which she handles every situation, constantly encourages me. My husband, who is my biggest strength and my weakness, if I may say. And of course, my father-in-law, who is also there, Dr. K. Raghavan. He is a retired professor from Madras Medical College, who I know I can always turn to. And last but not the least, my little sweet angel who's sitting there right in front, my little daughter who has been running around. Her name is Nihara. She's 8 years old, and I am very grateful for her, for all the joy and love she's brought into my life. Thank you so much.
Moving to our second award of the evening, the Rennie Abraham Tanker Foundation Love for Service Award. And this time the applause needs to go out to Dr. Mishra Vineet Vashishta.
Rennie Abraham was our baby trustee, as I called him. When we started Tanker, he was hardly 25. And he was one of our first trustees, along with Dr. Georgie, myself, and others. Rennie Abraham was a person who was always kindness personified. He is part of the Abban family, and he never said no to anything. Whatever you wanted, Rennie would see that it was done for us. We started in a small way. Rennie helped us grow, and then suddenly he passed on because of a heart attack. And it's something which was heartbreaking then and still heartbreaking for us. So in his memory, his family gives this award. It's called the Love for Service Award. Rennie Abraham Tanker Foundation Love for Service Award. And who better than Dr. Mishra? Please come. A big round of applause.
Honorable Minister, Madam, Professor Georgie Abraham sir, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Vinit Mishra, who is Director of Kidney Institute, Ahmedabad, the largest public sector transplant program in India, already completed 6,000 kidney transplant and 500 liver transplantation. Dr. Mishra is known for his selfless love for service in Gujarat dialysis program, having 47 peripheral satellite units in district, rural and tribal area of Gujarat with 500 dialysis machine, 2,500 dialysis patients, and already completed more than 12 lakh dialysis session. Each session is free to the patient, and government provide additional rupees 300 for their travel cost to improve their compliance. I, along with all patients, would like to express our gratitude to Dr. Mishra for his saving the life of hundreds of patients during national lockdown of COVID-19 by providing doorstep dialysis delivery, by providing free medications to all the patients with speed post and with telemedicine and teleconsultation. Under the leadership of Dr. Mishra, our new building of 600 beds will be started in coming few months for the multi-organ transplant in the state of Gujarat. Thank you, Dr. Georgie Abraham and Madam Lata. I invite Dr. Mishra on the stage for this Love for Service Award.
Thank you, Dr. Vivek Kute, for the introduction. Dr. Mishra Vinit Vashishta, in presenting the citation, we deeply appreciate your spirit of love and devotion in selflessly serving the underprivileged with free dialysis through your 46 satellite dialysis centers in the state of Gujarat through the Gujarat Dialysis Program. You have provided more than 12 lakhs dialysis and reached out to more than 2,500 patients in small towns and villages and helped them with almost doorstep dialysis and live fruitful lives. You've gone beyond the call of duty in risking your life in treating more than 500 COVID-19 positive patients during this terrible pandemic. You helped establish the IVF program at IKDRC, helping over 3,300 people. Your research work, publications, lectures, and several prestigious awards are truly laudable. Your selflessness, dedication, and humility are qualities which are greatly admirable and a guiding light to all of us. You're an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for being with us. Congratulations. May I request our awardee to say a few words?
Let me tell you, friends, I am vaccinated and I am COVID negative, so I can remove my mask. I took the first vaccine in the institute, so that rest of my 1,500, they feel safe that the director has taken. Respected Minister, sir, Pandian Rajan, sir, Madam Lata, the Managing Trustee of Tinker Foundation, and our own Professor Georgie Abraham. My mentor, Dr. H.L. Trivedi, always loved Professor Georgie Abraham. He used to call him Georgie. And he had a huge respect for Georgie. Friends, I accept this award on behalf of all my team members who actually work on the field, who are actually responsible for the unique delivery system, the dialysis system, which is Gujarat Dialysis Program, which is happening in Gujarat, which is unique of its kind in the country. Minister, sir, let me tell you, when Mr. Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat and Professor Trivedi, they found out that there were only 2 dialysis centers in Gujarat. One was at Kidney Institute and other was at Nadiad Hospital, which was a corporate private hospital. So it was a dream of Dr. Trivedi, which was seconded then by the statesman more than the politician, Mr. Narendra Modi, that there has to be one dialysis center in every district. So that started happening. Sir, government trusted the institute, trusted Kidney Institute and Dr. Trivedi. District by district dialysis centers were made. International guidelines were adhered to, meaning that all dialysis are single-use dialyzer, single-use tubing. The injectable iron in form of ferric carboxy maltose, which is an expensive intravenous iron, and with 10,000 units of EPO, erythropoietin, which helps to make the blood for this dialysis patient. Minister, sir, dialysis patients are always anemic because they produce lesser amount of erythropoietin within the kidney. Sir, then we took it forward. We took it as a slogan, went to the political system and said, why don't we map Gujarat in a way that no one in Gujarat travels more than 30 kilometers to get their dialysis done. So that was achieved. So we have 47 centers. All of them are in government setup. None of them are in private. There are centers, 15 centers are there in tribal area, where you will not find an MBBS doctor, but our technicians are managing this. We have Professor Himanshu Patel, then Professor Vivek Kutte, who are advising these patients, seeing these patients through telemedicine. Sir, we have a young person like Kiran, who is here. He is the one who controls all these 47 centers. All 500 plus machines are hooked up to the institute server and real-time data comes in. Every machine is hooked up to the central server of the institute, to the central server of GDP. We found that there could be hocus pocus where expensive medicines could be sold away by people and patients may not get it. So we devised with artificial intelligence and computing that unless those injections are given and patient puts in the thumb, the medicines don't get detected from the stock of that center. So patients started getting them. AI and computerization were taken to an extent that all biometrics, every center had at least 5 CCTV cameras monitoring them, the people who could put in their biometrics and disappear from the center. Sir, you would be amazed to know that after the CMC of the machine is over, our people, they manage the CMC, they manage the machine. So every year we save close to 65 lakhs of rupee from the maintenance. And that money, once the government got this data, they were flabbergasted. So we requested them, all the saving that is being done should be converted into the machine. And the machines, most of the machines are Fresenius machines. We have an agreement with the German company that the machines sold to us would be the cheapest price machine in the country, and if we find out that they have sold somewhere a machine which is cheaper than ours, which they have sold it to us, the amount into machine is refunded to us. It is refunded to us. We do close to 3 lakh dialysis a year. When I was going through Tanker Foundation things from Google and thinking the amount of, 10 seconds, I'm sorry. I got swayed away with. But sir, we had whatever then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi, had a vision and a mission along with Dr. Trivedi. I was taking it ahead and I was successful in implementing that no one in my state travels more than 30 kilometers to get the world-class dialysis. Thank you very much.
Moving on to our third award of the evening, the La Renon Tanker Foundation For the Sake of Honor Award. And this award goes to Dr. Nitya Krishnan.
Good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. It is always a pleasure for me to attend Tanker Foundation Award Night every year. But unfortunately, due to pandemic, I am missing the event. But I am glad that Tanker has taken this event through digital platform to maintain the continuity. It has always been observed that a lot of people are doing great service to humanity in the society and their efforts are being unnoticed. Tanker is doing a great job by rewarding them and recognizing them every year. Few of them are being recognized this year and we are fortunate enough to meet with them and getting information about their great work, what they are doing for the society. I am congratulating to everyone who is winner tonight. Once again, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek. So I asked him to bring the check. Nitya will be watching from UK. Professor Nitya S. Krishnan, in presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of courage and determination in your journey of caring for people with kidney disease from India to the UK. You've undergone a significant amount of pain and had a lot of gain in reaching out to people with kidney disease. Your dad's preaching, work like a bull and live like a prince, and your guru's teaching, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take, are the two mantras which have had and continue to have a positive impact on your work in nephrology. Your International Transplant Fellowship Program is a boon for surgeons and physicians. You have done India proud with all your valuable research and publications and recognitions that you have received. You're an inspiration and a guiding light to all of us. We also thank you for delivering the Mrs. Malti Venkateshan and Mr. S.V. Venkateshan Memorial Lecture. Thank you. Nitya will just give us a response.
What can I say? I'm so humbled to receive this prestigious award. Thank you all so much for bestowing upon me this huge recognition. Someone once told me that you're given an award not for the work you have done, but for the work you're expected to do after receiving the award. I will take that statement to be the absolute truth and therefore will work as much as I can from now on so that I can definitely become worthy of this award. Many, many, many thanks once again. Thank you.
We next have the Ashok Shankaralingam Endowment. May I call upon Mrs. Lata Kumaraswamy, Managing Trustee, Tanker Foundation, to say a few words on the award.
So this is a big donor of ours, Ashok, whom we've known since we were children, and his family who have come forward with this award. Ashok was our big donor in Madurai and continues to be. Ashok and his family are with us always. He passed on all of a sudden, and his family has started this award called the Ashok Shankaralingam Award, where we help patients with their dialysis costs. So his daughter Sharanya is going to say a few words about her dad and about the award. Thank you.
The Tanker Foundation is known for providing awareness and affordable treatments to patients with kidney ailments. My father, Mr. Ashok, appreciated the amazing positive impact that the foundation has had on the community over the years. Our family is happy to be associated with such a group of committed individuals, and we look forward to our continued association. We feel privileged to be able to honor my father's memory through your organization. Thank you.
So our patients from Coimbatore and Madurai are going to benefit, and I request Martin, who's the head of our dialysis unit there, to collect this. So free dialysis will be given for 4 of the patients. Mrs. Selvi, Mrs. Soundararajan, Mr. Tajunisha, and Mrs. Pichayammal will benefit from this. Thank you, Sharanya. Thank you, Ashok, for your benevolence.
Our next award of the evening, the K. Venkat Narayana Tanker Foundation Awareness Award. Please put your hands together for the winner, Dr. Shiva Prakash, Youth Mental Health Program, SCARF.
Good evening, Dr. Georgie, dear guests on the dais, and my dear friends. I am very happy to be associated with Dr. Georgie and Tanker Foundation for the past so many years in remembrance of my grandfather, Mr. K. Venkat Narayana. And it's a proud day for us. And we wish Tanker and Dr. Georgie's team all the success. God bless. Thank you.
To introduce the awardee, we invite Dr. Lakshmi Shankaran, Chair, Department of Applied Psychology, the Banyan Academy of Leadership in Mental Health. Please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and I'm very happy to introduce the awardee today, Dr. Shiva Prakash. Currently, I'm going to talk about, he's got a fantastic CV, so I have to make it short. Wonderful work. He's currently a consultant at Sri Vikas Center for Hormones and Mental Health in India, in Chennai. Importantly, where I'm concerned, I'm very excited that he is a consultant psychiatrist with SCARF, which is extremely prestigious and well known, and he provides clinical care to both inpatient and outpatients at SCARF, which stands for Schizophrenia Research Foundation, a very well-known, prestigious institution in the country and of course in Chennai. He was also, he's consulting with TTK Hospital for de-addiction services and Kripa Residential Facility in Sri Perambatoor, including IIT Madras, where he provides clinical care for students and staff. So I think I don't want to take too much of your time, but that's Dr. Shiva Prakash, who's the awardee for the current award. Thank you for the awareness. Should I talk about the awareness also, Lata? Yes? 1 minute. Wow. Okay, it's very exciting. I've gone through this, and it's amazing that somebody is looking at promotion and prevention of mental health issues. Very often we talk about intervention, and here we have somebody who's looking at providing intervention for children at risk having parents with schizophrenia. So that's really wonderful, very challenging. And a lot of strategies have been introduced for clinical services to target, and also what is very exciting, scanning the kind of work that they do in the youth mental health program is they're working on stigma removal, the horrible stigma of having a mental health problem. They're working with schools, they're also helping college students, thousands of them, to deal with solitude, a huge epidemic as far as the WHO is concerned. Along with NCDs, loneliness and depression is also on top of the list. So that's really wonderful that this program is looking at youth and mental health issues. It includes abuse and neglect. They're also now they've dedicated to social media, a website which young people can access to about information on mental health literacy programs, and the entire space is non-judgmental and supportive. And the important thing is that they have involved peer support and volunteers. What better is there than to have a friend to help you with your mental health crisis or your condition? So let me introduce, well, I have finished my introduction, and I congratulate the awardee for this wonderful work. Thank you very much.
The K. Venkatanarayana Tanker Foundation Awareness Award, YMH program at SCARF, headed by Dr. Shiva Prakash Srinivasan. In presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of dedication and commitment in working tirelessly to spread awareness of youth mental health problems. Your activities of clinical services targeting health professionals, working with academic institutions and workplaces, families and communities, and finally with the youth themselves, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, are truly admirable. You have also developed a unique and inclusive and safe space called the Resource Center for Youth Mental Health by SCARF, which is the first of its kind in India. Your website and Warmline are shared information, and training about mental health online is a great blessing for us. Your team and you are a guiding light and a great source of inspiration to all of us. Thank you for being with Tanker. Congratulations.
A very good evening, everyone. I'd like to just start off by saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And this pandemic has really poked holes into that particular idea, because we've been so physically separated that it's not been possible for the necessary support to be there. And really, over the period of our work with the young people, as previously mentioned, who better to support another young person than a young person who's been in his shoes and is currently probably going through the same issues. Our youth mental health program is focused on empowering young people and to take the ownership of their own health and also support their own friends. And that is one of the key bases on which we work. I think this award from the Tanker Foundation and acknowledgement from all of you is really affirmation of the fact that we are probably doing something right. And so I thank you all for this very honorable gift, and I thank you all, and I'll see you all. Thank you.
Our next award for the evening, the La Renon Tanker Foundation Lifetime Achievement Award. And that award goes to Dr. S.C. Dash and Dr. B.R. Namalwar.
It is an honor to introduce your own teacher, but it is also difficult because one will always feel short of the words. I know Professor Dash and I am attached to him for last 35 years in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Very simple person by heart and very passionate for helping the poor patient whom many other doctors who are near seat of the power sometimes neglect. He is very keen for teaching and doing hand-on work on patient in terms of a procedure for care of patient, even till very late near the superannuation. He is very thorough in subject and very widely traveled across the world, both in Western countries as well as in South Asian countries, and established many departments in South Asian countries in terms of a nephrology setup and the dialysis unit. He is a person who will always speak what he feel is correct, irrespective whosoever is in front of him. Uh, the two very important contribution of Professor Dash are: number one, that he established the Department of Nephrology and separating it from Department of Medicine in All India Institute and starting DM program. And second most important contribution to his credit is that he initiated cadaver organ renal transplant and other organ transplant in All India Institute for the first time. I'm sure that he missed his teaching passion and procedure on the patient. I personally feel it is privilege of Tanker Foundation that he accepted a Tanker Foundation Lifetime Achievement Award. I wish him success in his future life. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I deem it as a great honor to introduce Dr. B.R. Namalwar, and the Tanker Foundation is proud to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. B.R. Namalwar for his outstanding contribution to pediatric nephrology community, and as a token of appreciation to his service and dedication in patient care with kidney diseases, and have substantially influenced the clinical practice of nephrology through education and training. Dr. B.R. Namalwar is considered a founding father of pediatric nephrology. His love for specialty began early. He became the first pediatrician to obtain a DM degree in nephrology. Dr. B.R.'s first efforts went into establishing the much needed nephrology and dialysis services for the rural poor in Tamil Nadu. Through his characteristic combination of academic excellence and mentorship, Dr. B.R.N. has inspired generations of physicians to provide service to patients with kidney diseases. And he was one of the founding members of ISN-SC, spearheading the growth of academic nephrology in South India. Recognizing the great need for nephrology services for children, Dr. B.R.N. turned his attention to expanding the nascent field of pediatric nephrology. He became the professor and head of department of the first pediatric nephrology teaching department in India at Institute of Child Health Hospital for Children in Chennai. And subsequently, he went on to establish and lead pediatric nephrology at Kanchi Kamakodi Child Trust Hospital and later on Mehta Multi-Specialty Hospital. Apart from providing the clinical services, Dr. B.R.N. is an educator par excellence. He is known for his remarkable teaching skills. He has received multiple awards for teaching by state and national bodies. Dr. B.R.N. is most renowned for securing the future of pediatric nephrology as a specialty in India. On larger stage, Dr. BRN is one of the founding members of ISPN and went on to serve as its chairperson. He has inspired physicians from 2 generations to take up pediatric nephrology as a specialty. In recognition of his contribution to the field, the IPNA awarded Dr. BRN an honorary membership in the year 2019. The Tanker Foundation is proud to count Dr. B.R. Namalwa's achievement, one of the first, finest pediatric nephrologists in India. Your immense contribution towards establishing pediatric nephrology as a specialty, your excellence in teaching and in leadership will inspire a generation of physicians. And it's a normal quote, but a great quote for the apt person. A good teacher explains, a superior teacher demonstrates, and a great teacher inspires. And you are an ideal example. It's our privilege to present you with this Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you.
Dr. S.C. Dash, in presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of dedication and commitment. You are a nephrologist par excellence, a well-loved and widely traveled teacher, doctor, and friend. You have nurtured and trained hundreds of young nephrologists all over the years and received several Lifetime Achievement Awards for your dedicated work, publication, and achievements in nephrology. You truly are a source of inspiration and a guiding light to all of us. Thank you.
Dr. BRN, in presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of dedication and commitment in giving yourself over to the cause of kidney disease. You have specialized in pediatrics and helped save thousands of children suffering from kidney disorder. You are an award-winning eminent senior pediatric nephrologist with over 50 years of experience with a special interest in managing chronic kidney disease in children, inherited renal tubular disorders, and genetic disorders in nephrotic syndrome. Your achievements are far and wide, and everything is laudable. We thank you, Doctor.
This is Dr. A.C. Das, previously professor of nephrology, dialysis, transplantation at AIIMS, New Delhi. Now, this particular disease and its treatment, I have associated for the last 45 years. Now, there are about 2 to 3 lakhs of chronic kidney failure in this country. But this is only a tips of the iceberg. In many of them are not reported. And I can tell you statistically, probably about 2 lakhs of patients need urgent dialysis and subsequently transplantation. Well, the problem is in India is a finance. Although recent years, Government of India has set up dialysis center in many of the district headquarter hospital. That's a good news. So many patients are being, however, all these centers are not ideal. There is no reversed osmosis water treatment, not qualified nephrologist. There are only 14 to 1500 in this country. And still further, the technicians are also not very well trained. Well, we in 1904 persuaded the government to pass the transplant bill at AIIMS, New Delhi. We had to struggle for it, but fortunately it was passed. And in March 94, we started regularly cadaver kidney transplant in AIIMS. And after the organ transplant bill was passed, then again at AIIMS, the first heart transplant was done. But I must confess that Chennai has taken over. They have done many more because there are many private hospitals are interested. They have a good, well set up system to harvest the organ in Chennai. Now, again, the question is that of the funds. Many patients cannot afford a perfect dialysis and then transplantation. For that, many charitable institutes I am aware of are helping in India for doing dialysis and transplantation. Chennai has one, and in Bombay, yes, there are many other places. Now charitable organizations are doing, helping the patients. I don't want to name all of them. This is a very happy situation now. And I always start to explain the patients by the patients are very reluctant to start dialysis transplant. But I tell them, you will be like one of your brother, sister, absolutely. And if you're lucky, there's a good dialysis center and there is a good donor, well worked up immunologically and also surgically and medically, then there's a chance that the patient will survive for more than even 20, 30 years on an average. I have a patient in Delhi who is surviving for last 40 years. So that is the way we have to many times struggle to convince this patient. I'm very happy. It's not only me, there are many like-minded colleagues and well-trained doctors all over India now. Again, I don't want to name them. So it is quite a happy situation. The organ dialysis and organ transplantation is going on smoothly. But unfortunately, it's not being reported well. It's not documented well. Not only in India, not only in the world literature, world scenario, but also in India.
Respected ladies and gentlemen, என்னோட தாழ்மையான வணக்கம். It's the greatest honor I ever received in my life. Thank you, Tanker Foundation. At this moment, I wish to express my gratitude to 3 persons who had a pivotal role in my achievements. Professor M.S. Amarasan taught me nephrology and made me a pediatric nephrologist. But for him, probably, pediatric nephrology would have taken many more years to see the light. Dr. M.K. Mani spent many hours of his precious time and dedicated all his experience and knowledge in designing a comprehensive and a self-containing pediatric nephrology unit. I thank him. Dr. M.G. Ramachandran, our former Chief Minister, sanctioned a full 8th floor for pediatric nephrology at the Hospital for Children in Egmore, with a full complement of teaching staff and dialysis equipments. Tamil Nadu can be proud that this pediatric nephrology department is the first of its kind in India. I repeat, Tamil Nadu can be proud that this pediatric nephrology department is the first of its kind in India. At that time, no other great institutes in India had dreamt of a pediatric nephrology department. I was blessed to be the first head of the department. Lastly, I thank my colleagues, Dr. Sudha, Dr. Kalaivani, and Dr. Sukanya, all from Mehta Hospital, who continue to carry the torch forward. I thank Dr. Kalaivani for her wonderful presentation, and I promise her I'll be a good boy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience and attention. Thank you.
Our final award of the evening.
So, thank you, Dr. George. Yeah.
Our final award of the evening. Mr. Shankar Iyer, Tanker Foundation Innovator Award. Let's get the applause going. From the Bangalore Kidney Foundation, Dr. Lloyd Vincent.
The Shankar Iyer Award, this is in memory of my great-grandfather who went with 5 rupees in his pocket and sailed across the seas and went to Sri Lanka and started his life there. He started off in a very humble way and then became one of the multimillionaires families. He was called Kolumbu Shankar Iyer, and he became, very well known. He was a great philanthropist. He really helped so many people in Sri Lanka and in Chennai from Tirunelveli, from where he came. So when Dr. Georgie said that we should, and my family, especially the Shankar Iyer family, has been given lakhs and lakhs of donations to Tanker over the years. So I thought it's only befitting for a man like Shankarayar to also be remembered and honored today for the innovative work that he did and for all his entrepreneurship and enterprising nature. So we are going to give this to Dr. Lloyd Vincent. Doctor, can I say a few words? Dr. Lloyd Vincent is an extremely wonderful and humble man who has been striving hard through Renadyle to come out with a dialysis machine, and he has achieved that dream, which is going to be a big service for all of us, because it's going to cost, half the price of what we're getting, and it's going to build up the competition, but it's also going to be one of the best dialysis machines. It's Indian, and so Tanker will be buying one of the first Indian machines. So Lakshmi, can you just read about the award?
The Shankarayar Tanker Foundation Innovator Award goes to Dr. Lloyd Vincent. In presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of dedication and determination to give yourself the cause of dialysis and kidney disease. Your hard work has fructified in the birth of an Indian hemodialysis machine, which should be available in May 2021. Your noble aim to provide affordable rural renal care worldwide is laudable. For this machine will give low-cost, high-quality dialysis to help thousands of people world over. You believe in healing patients with your compassion and treating them with prudence, and you're greatly a source of inspiration and a guiding light to all of us. Thank you for being with Tanker. Congratulations.
Now we just want to honor someone very, very special, the Dean of Rajiv Gandhi Government General Hospital, Professor E. Terani Rajan. Can you come on stage, Professor? I think Dr. Gopalakrishnan is the one who has suggested and has seen his selfless service and is going to tell us about it.
Good evening, Honorable Minister, Jaji, Tanker family. It's my pleasure to introduce our beloved Dean, Professor Terani Rajan, the Dean of the prestigious Madras Medical College, Rajiv Gandhi Government General Hospital. In Tirukkural, there is one Kural. Idanai idanan ivan mudikkum endraindu adanai avan kan vidal. Meaning, you have to choose the right person to accomplish a great task. That's what the government of India, government of Tamil Nadu has done. When the COVID crisis was looming large, threatening all of us in the month of June, the government decided to bring a right person to tackle this crisis. He came from Vellore. He won the war against COVID. He's a pediatrician, a great academician, a great leader who believes in teamwork, and a great inspiring personality. With all his innovative strategies, we were able to achieve a great success in the war against COVID. It's a great opportunity for me to introduce him. Go ahead with the citation.
Professor E. Terani Rajan, in presenting this citation, we applaud your spirit of dedication and selfless service in leading the entire team of doctors, nurses, and paramedics in the war against COVID-19 with grit, determination, and innovation at the Rajiv Gandhi Government General Hospital. You have treated over 29,000 COVID patients with a cure rate of 95%. Your passionate work, innovative leadership, and humaneness will inspire, ensuring generations to follow in your footsteps. You are a renowned pediatrician, astute clinician, and a teacher par excellence. You truly are a great source of inspiration and a guiding light to all of us. Thank you for being with us on this special day. Thank you. We are honoring 23 of his team who have served tirelessly during this COVID times. We appreciate each and every one of them, and we thank them all.
May I request Professor Rajan to say a few words, please?
Respected Honorable Minister, Office Bearers of the Tanker Foundation, Professor Gopalakrishnan sir, and my dear friends, good evening to all. I am extremely happy to receive this award at this great function. During this COVID pandemic, our team has treated nearly 30,000 patients. With a 95% cure rate. This we were able to achieve because of the teamwork, a dedicated service rendered by our doctors, postgraduate students, staff nurses, crystal workers, lab technicians, system analysts, data entry operators, the list goes on. Day and night, they all worked very hard, and we were able to achieve 95% of the cure rate. Now we have entered into the preventive aspect. Hope we will definitely achieve 100% vaccination in Tamil Nadu. During the peak of pandemic, I still remember, I thought Minister Rao forgotten this. Early morning, 3 o'clock, I received a phone call from our Minister to save one patient by name Mani. The age is 50 years. He said, we have already lost one patient in my area. I don't want to lose this patient. Doctor, take some action. Immediately intervene. Try to save this patient. Our team did a wonderful job and saved that patient. Successfully we discharged him, and I sent a message to him as well. So that shows his involvement in constituency, in saving the public as well. SARS also part of our team. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. We come to a very important segment of the Tanker Awards evening, where we acknowledge the wonderful work of our staff, the staff of Tanker Foundation. So without further ado, we present Star of the Year 2020. The Star of the Year 2020 award is presented based on parameters of performance, tanker experience, involvement in new initiative, punctuality, goes to Uma Shankar, Mr. V. Uma Shankar, Senior Unit Manager, Perungudi Unit. We are indebted to him for his contribution. Thank you, Uma Shankar. The next awards are the Service Awards 2020, where we recognize employees who have completed service for 10 years and above. And we present it to Mrs. Pandiyammal, housekeeper of Madurai Unit, Vijay Anand Kumar, Senior Dialysis Technician, and Miss K. Nagalakshmi, Senior Dialysis Technician of the Madurai Unit, and Mr. Giridharan, Senior Unit Manager of Ambattur Unit, and Mr. Jinu Kumar, Unit Manager, Tirupur Unit. Congratulations. So, anybody receiving on behalf? Okay. Now we go to the next award for punctuality, and it is shared by all the dialysis units and admin office, as we are grateful that all the employees chose to serve the patients despite their own and their families' safety. Thank you so much. But we are also presenting it to 4 individual employees who were punctual throughout the pandemic year 2020. Mr. Uma Shankar, Senior Unit Manager, Perungudi, Mr. N. Tyagarajan, Unit Manager, Vellur, Ms. R. Divya, Dialysis Technician Vellur, Mr. B. Arasu, Senior Dialysis Technician Madurai. Congratulations. We now come to another very important award. We call it the Tanker Angels with Wings and the Tanker Angels Awards. And we're presenting it to leaders who did selfless service in taking care of patients and went the extra mile. So I will call upon the heads of all the units to please come. Okay. Yeah, are they coming together? Yeah. So we have the Ambattur, Valluvar Kottam, Thiruverkadu, Valsaravakam, Coimbatore, Retteri, Vellur, Tirupur, Injambakam, Perungudi, and we cannot forget our admin office. Ladies, please come up on stage. We are Nalini, Sabita, and Kripankani. All names are here. And now, we cannot forget two very important people, Geeta, head of our dialysis units, and Vasanti, head of the admin office. Please come up on stage to be honored. They are the angels with wings. So we have Thank you so much. Without further ado, we go to another very important part of this evening's program, the launch of the Tanker website.
I think Lata truly deserves this, whatever she has given us. She has been an inspiration to all of us. I would like to dedicate this to you, Lata.
If I have left out any of the Tankers, angels and angels with wings, forgive me. It's for the paucity of time. So your awards will be there and presented to you by the heads of your units. Thank you for the wonderful service. We couldn't have done anything without you. So we will now move to the launch of the website by a few words by Ms. Sumitra Ghosh. May I call upon Sumitra? Oh.
Hello, my name is Sumitra Ghosh. I'm very happy to be associated with the Tanker website. The website is a great tool that has provided us in these times of the pandemic. It gives us an opportunity to keep in touch and for us to also get information regarding CKD. I wouldn't call myself a patient, but I've had personal experience with CKD for the past 12 years. I have been through a transplant, I have been through dialysis, and I have some idea what this disease conveys to all of us. We have tried to put in as much information as possible into this website to give information regarding the disease and what it entails, regarding what to expect, how much it costs, what are the nutritional aspects of the disease, and more importantly, how to catch it early through tests which are very simple and easily done. The awareness campaign and the screening camps that we conduct in Tanker help to reduce and slow down this disease. We hope to keep this website dynamic and provide as much information as possible. But to keep it dynamic and relevant, we require feedback and inputs from you. What information you require, what is the help and assistance Tanker can provide, are all better served if you keep in touch with us. I'm looking forward to having a very, very active interaction with all of you who are dealing with this disease in various aspects, either as a care provider or as a person going through the disease themselves. So all the best, and I hope we will keep this dynamic and be able to reach out to a lot more patients and keep the incidence down as much as possible. Thank you.
We come to the end. Thank you to everybody, but thank you, Sumitra, Chitra, Raghav, and team for making this a dynamic website. We need to do that. And I forgot to thank two very important people. My sister Sudha, who comes every year. She used to be in Boston and she'll come every year for Tanker Night. So grateful thanks. Now she's in Kotagiri and she drove all the way down for Tanker. And we are all very grateful to you, Sudha. And of course my cousin Neelu, the other Neelu, who did the comparing. He's done it year in and year out for us. If he was here, it would have been done with more panache or whatever the word is. But we're very grateful to Neelu for being with us. If I've forgotten anybody, Rukmani, thank you for volunteering. Thank you, each and every one of you. Yes, and the press and the media for your constant support. Georgie will come and whisper everything in my ear, okay? And that's how it works. He used to call me early in the morning at 6 o'clock and say, Leda, in his Malayalam accent, and say, when are we starting this foundation? And this was around 28 years ago. He still does that, and he still calls at odd times. And Georgie is so dedicated, he's inspirational, and we're grateful that you're part of Tanker. And I have to say thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Pandirajan. We are so honored that you came here today. Lata, thank you, Lata. You're a dear friend, our trustee, and we look forward to all your support. And thank you, each and every one of you, for making this evening special for each and every one of us. Thank you, staff. Yeah, we could not play Dr. Lloyd's response due to some technical problem, but Dr. Lloyd, as I said, is extremely humble. He will understand. He has donated his money back to Bangalore Kidney Foundation. Yeah. He has been watching live and he said thank you for the award. He's very grateful. And definitely, doctor, we are buying the first machine from you. Thank you. Dr. Namalwar has given back his award as well. So has Dr. Nitya Krishnan. So Tanker is richer today, even though we've given awards. Every paisa will go to help people with kidney disease. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please have your dinner. Please. No, we don't have normally. Yeah, unless you want it. Yes? Okay. So national anthem. We'll play. So, have you got it? Play. Yeah, can we play it? Yeah. Okay. मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विदाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विदा जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you. Vande Mataram. So, I think tanker staff, all your awards are ready, so you can come and pick it up. We want you to take one bouquet each home. We are